following program is classified G. It's suitable for all ages.
Tonight, in a new development, the World Health Organization announced the emergence of a new COVID-19 variant, which scientists think it's the most dangerous variant that has been found so far. Even though it was the first reported in South Africa just few weeks ago, it has already entered several countries, including our neighbor India. Sri Lanka also detected its first Omicron variant patient on the 3rd of December 2021. Are we ready for this new threat? Good evening, I'm Suzanne Shanali. This is Derana and the Morning Investigates. Unlike the great challenges the world has encountered in modern times, the COVID-19 pandemic is constantly evolving, making the fight against it more and more arduous. And our experience during the past 2 years bear witness to it. According to scientists, the new COVID-19 related development, example the emergence of a new variant called Omicron, could be more challenging than all previous identified variants. In this backdrop, we investigate to see whether this new variant could have the potential to have another threat to our day-to-day life. Will Sri Lanka have to go down another lockdown, or will our vaccination efforts save the day? We investigate. As the news about this new, supposedly more aggressive variant shocked the World Health Organization last week explained what it knows about the Omicron variant, adding that more studies are necessary to conduct a proper assessment about the said variant. WHO spokesperson Christian Lindmeier said that while early analysis has shown that this variant has a large number of mutations that require and will undergo further study, it will take a few weeks for them to understand what impact this variant can have. He told the UN,
"Researchers are working to understand more about the mutations and what they potentially mean for how transmissible or virulent this variant is, and how they may impact our diagnostics, therapeutics, and vaccines." This variant, the B.1.1.529, was reported at a remarkable speed. WHO recommends that countries continue to apply a risk-based and a scientific approach when implementing travel measures, in accordance with the temporary recommendations of the 9th Emergency Committee. And it is important to note that every travel measures should be always weighed, and that countries can do a lot already in terms of surveillance and sequencing and work together with affected countries or globally.
Looking at the mildness of the symptoms that we are seeing, currently there's no reason for panicking, as we don't see severely ill patients. I also checked with the hospital, some of the hospitals in my area, and one of the biggest hospitals, they only have one patient currently that's COVID positive on a ventilator, and they don't even know whether it's COVID, it's Delta, or whether it is Omicron related.
Meanwhile, local experts noted that it is unrealistic to assume that Sri Lanka would be able to stop the Omicron variant from entering the country, and that the country must strive to delay it from happening. Expressing this opinion, University of Sri Jayawardhanapura Allergy, Immunology and Cell Biology Unit Director Dr. Chandima Jeevandara and Sri Lanka Medical Association, or the SLMA President Dr. Padma Gunaratna, further noted that adhering to the basic safety guidelines such as wearing face masks and getting vaccinated would be immensely helpful to achieve that. Adding that the Delta variant is the predominant COVID-19 variant that is present in Sri Lanka currently, Dr. Jeevardhana emphasized that there is a huge concern among the scientific community with regard to the Omicron variant.
Why do we label as a variant of concern? Because when you find new viral variants, sometimes it might have different properties compared to the known one. For example, it can have a higher transmissibility. Sometimes it may show different symptom profile. Sometimes they may show, they may demonstrate differences in the severity of the illness, and sometimes they might escape the immunity which was acquired either by natural infection or by vaccines, or sometimes it might evade the diagnostic testing. If a variant fulfills those criteria, they will be upgraded to a higher category called variant of concern by the WHO. It has about 30 S gene mutations which concerns the scientific community a lot, because out of that 30, 10 are in the area where it might have an effect on the transmission. Scientists predict that it may spread even faster than the Delta variant, but these are not proven. These are predictions. That's why when they predict something, the scientists get together and alert the WHO, and WHO has taken the right decision by upgrading it to a variant of concern. And many countries, including Sri Lanka, has taken the initial steps to stop people coming from the countries in the South African region where this variant is mostly found. Initial very good step to prevent or to slow down the variant coming into Sri Lanka, because no country was successful in stopping new variants coming into their country.
Dr. Jeevandara also noted the importance of the coming few weeks, as the scientists are yet to find out a great deal of details about this variant.
So that the initial step which was taken by the Ministry of Health is very commendable. And apart from that, the scientists are investigating the biological properties of this new variant, and in the coming weeks we will get to know the real properties of this new variant. In terms of the efficacy of the vaccine to this new variant, we don't have any data, and it is predicted it may escape the vaccine induced immunity. And also there are few cases where despite vaccination people have infected, and also despite getting the Delta infection they have got a reinfection with this new Omicron variant. So it is possible, and we don't have any concrete proven data to show that it will escape the vaccine induced immunity or natural immunity. Based on the collection of mutations, scientists predict that it may escape the vaccine induced immunity or the naturally acquired immunity.
Meanwhile, Dr. Gunaratna emphasized that the risks posed by the COVID-19 pandemic are not over yet, and that therefore strict adherence to safety measures is still necessary.
We wish to remind that the outbreak is not over. It's not only that it's not over, a new variant has been emerged, and there is a serious threat to community.
She noted that owing to mutations Omicron contains, it is thought to have extremely high transmissibility qualities and also the ability to evade the immunity provided by vaccination. According to specialists, no country in the world is capable in stopping this new variant to enter their nations. Sri Lanka, on the other hand, has detected its first Omicron variant patient on 3rd of December, and that patient is quarantined, according to the health officials. How will this affect Sri Lanka's travel and tourism sector? Also, will the upcoming festive season contribute to the spread of the new variant? After the break, we investigate further. Welcome back. While Sri Lanka detected its first Omicron patient, what will be the next step to prevent and protect society from this highly infected virus? Here's the rest of our investigation. On December 3rd, Sri Lanka has found its first Omicron variant infected person. Although preventing it from happening at all is practically difficult, the health authorities claim that they are taking all the necessary measures to prevent it.
සෞඛ්‍ය අමාත්‍යාංශයත් අපේ සියලු පාර්ශවකාරීනොත් එක් රැස් වෙලා මේ ප්‍රභේදය ලංකාවට පැමිණීමට තියෙන ඉඩකඩ අවුරුමින් හෝ ඒක ලංකාවට පැමිණිලා තියෙනවා නම් ඒක පිළිබඳව හොයා ගැනීමට ගන්නා වූ සියලු ක්‍රියාමාර්ග පිළිබඳව තමන්වහන්සේලා දැනුවත් කරලා තිබ්බා. ඒකේ ප්‍රතිඵලයක් හැටියට ඒ අපේ ආවේක්ෂණ කටයුත්තේ ප්‍රතිඵලයක් හැටියට අද දිනේදී ඔමික්‍රෝන් ප්‍රභේදය ආසාදිත පුද්ගලයෙක් අපේ රසායනාගාර වලින් හොයාගෙන තියෙනවා.
ඒ පහුගිය මාසයක් වගේ කාලයක් ඇතුළත එම රටවල් වලින් ආපු විදේශිකයන්ගේ අපලඟ විදේශීය නිලධාරීන් දේශීය වශයෙන් හරි ආපු සංචාරක ඒ රටවල් වලින් ආපු සෑම කෙනෙක්ගේම තොරතුරු අපේ ආරක්ෂණ පද්ධතිය අපි ඒවා රැස් කරලා තිබ්බා. ඒ රටවල් වලින් පහුගිය මාසක් තුලම ආපු සෑම කෙනෙක්ගේම සෞඛ්‍ය තත්ත්වය ඇගීමට ලක් කිරීමත් ඔවුන්ව අමතර PCR පරීක්ෂණයටත් රැට් පරීක්ෂණයටත් භාජනය කිරීමේ ක්‍රියාවලියක් යනවා. පහුගිය කාලය තුල ලංකාවට පැමිණි අවස්ථාවේ කරපු PCR පරීක්ෂණය ධන ප්‍රතිඵල දුන්නේ. ඒ රෝගීන්ගේ නියැදි සියල්ලම ජාන පරීක්ෂණ සඳහා ශ්‍රීජාතනපුර විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයේ ඒ රසායනගාට අපි යවුවා. ඒකේ මේ ප්‍රතිඵලයක් හැටියට තමයි දැන් අපිට එක අප්‍රිකානු රටකින් පැමිණි එක පුද්ගලයෙක් ඒක ඔමික්‍රෝන් ප්‍රභේදය තියෙනවායි කියලා හඳුනාගෙන තියෙන්නේ.
However, at a time when the country is endeavoring to rebuild the tourism industry, restricting the arrival of foreigners or tourists is likely to be challenging. When queried in this regard, Tourism Minister Prasanna Ranatunga noted that although steps have been taken to restrict tourists coming in from Omicron-hit countries from entering Sri Lanka, it is less likely to affect the tourism industry because no such restrictions have been imposed on tourists arriving from other countries.
සංචාරක ශේෂ්ඨයට ඊයේ සෞඛ්‍ය අමාත්‍යාංශයේ ටෙක්නිකල් කමිටි එක තීන්දුව කරලා තියෙනවා සවුත් ඇෆ්‍රිකා සැම්බියා ඇතුළු රටවල් 6ක අර අලුත් වේරියන්ට් එක තියෙන නිසා ලංකාවට ගෙන්නන එක తాවකාලිකව නවත්තන්න කියලා අපි ඒක නවත්තලා තියෙනවා. මම හිතනවා රටේ සුරක්ෂිතභාවයෙන් ගත්ත වූ තීන්දුවක්. ඉතින් ඒකේ තරම්ම ලොකුට අපි රටට බලපාන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද අනික් සංචාරකයන්ට එන්න කිසි ගැටලුවක් නැති නිසා.
In response to a question about tourists who are currently in the country, Ranatunga said that the priority is preventing the variant from entering the country and that no restrictions have been imposed with regard to flying to South African countries that have been identified as Omicron-affected countries. Speaking about the cricketers and fans who will enter the country for the upcoming Lankan Premier League, Ranatunga said that attention has been paid to introduce a health pass for the fully vaccinated in order to allow them to attend cricket matches freely. He noted that regardless of the vaccination status, adhering to basic safety guidelines such as wearing face masks will be mandatory. Meanwhile, speaking of the same, Health Minister Communications Director, Public Health Services Deputy Director General and Disaster Preparedness and Response Division Head, Dr. Hemantha Herath explained the precautionary measures Ranatunga mentioned.
We have already taken many steps to ensure that COVID-19 patients from overseas are not entering into the country. We cannot do any specific measures to stop the people infected with specific variant is coming because it is impossible or practically impossible to do a gene sequencing on all arriving passengers. At the moment, we are according to the existing guidelines, anybody who is coming into the country should have a negative PCR test performed 72 hours prior to embarking into the airline. They should be fully immunized. But what is important is to take every possible measures to prevent the spread of the disease, whether it is Omicron or any other illness. We need to make sure that COVID-19 infection is not spreading within the country.
The world is facing the emergence of the Omicron variant at a time when the world is preparing to celebrate the beginning of a new year and the end of this year. During this festive season, which also includes Christmas, local authorities fear the increased spread of COVID-19 and they think that this situation may worsen upon the advent of the Omicron variant in the country, which is said to be more transmissible and aggressive than the previously identified variants. Speaking about it, Dr. Herath urged the people to act responsibly in the coming festive season, especially when organizing and attending various events.
I want to make a special request to those who are organizing any events related to the Christmas time or during the New Year time. make sure that whatever the action or events that you are going to organize are done according to the existing health guidelines, and those who are planning to take part in these events also should ensure that you all are going to adhere to the health guidelines. Otherwise, in the month of January, we might be able to see increased number of cases like what we observed last year also.
Meanwhile, Dr. Gunaratna noted that if Sri Lanka uses the opportunities it has, it would be possible to prepare the country to face the threat posed by the Omicron variant in the future. She noted that in the discussions surrounding this new variant, it is vital to understand that while there are steps that need to be taken by the government, there are also measures that need to be adopted by people.
Government already has taken certain steps and have to strengthen the hospital facilities if there is a need, so that the hospitals get ready to accommodate the increase in number of patients. But as far as the people are concerned, I think that there's no point in becoming sort of worrying of this particular variant, but what we need to do is to adhere to basic health habits that we have been doing over the last 2 years. Continue to wear the mask, maintain the social distancing and frequent hand washing, avoid crowded places, and keep the enclosed environments open with good ventilation.
She also urged the people to understand the gravity of the pandemic situation and to act responsibly, while saying that contracting the virus also means transmitting the virus to loved ones who live at home. Speaking of vaccination, Dr. Gunaratna stressed that the most important point is all eligible persons getting vaccinated.
If you have already not vaccinated, go for vaccination for the first dose, and if you already have not received the second dose, see that you get your second dose on time. And for people who are more than 60 years of age, invariably go for your third dose. There is a system now set up to reach the people who are unable to leave home for home vaccination. Call for the army and see that your loved ones at home who are unable to reach these vaccination centers are being vaccinated.
She emphasized that by getting vaccinated, people are fulfilling a responsibility for themselves and also a duty for the nation. Dr. Jeevandara also noted the importance of adhering to the safety guidelines and getting vaccinated.
Majority of our people got Sinopharm vaccination, and in our research we have showed that by about 3 months the antibody level seems to be dropping, and it's the right time to get a boost dose for your body, so that will get your immunity will be boosted to prevent you going into a severe disease. So whenever you get the chance, it's very, very important that you go and get yourself the boost injection, because in Sri Lanka, boost injection is given with Pfizer vaccination, which is considered one of the very good vaccines.
As those who spoke about the newest developments relating to COVID-19 mentioned, we can never be too careful, and everyone fulfilling their individual responsibility would be the key to managing the pandemic, especially when the new variant has entered our country. During this festive season, everyone has an undeniable duty, and it could be as simple as limiting gatherings to immediate families or close friends. In case you have missed to watch any of the programs tonight, you can rewatch by catching us on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Derana English. Thank you for taking the time to join us on Investigates. Investigates will return next week with another matter that affects you and me. Till then, see you soon.